Hi. Today's topic that I want to talk to you about is something that doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, everybody knows about it and everybody hears about it. And what I'm referring to is a multiple offer situation. And I want to talk about this from two angles. One is being in the seller's shoes, getting multiple offers on your property. And the reverse is if you're a buyer and you're interested in a hot property and there's multiple offers on the property. So first, as a seller. So the traditional mechanism for handling a scenario where you have multiple offers is to get both offers in hand and go back to both buyers and say, hey, Mr. Buyer number one, Mr. Buyer number two, we have multiple offers. Please submit your highest and best offer by 5 p.m. tomorrow or whatever time that may be. So what that does then is both agents go back to their respective buyers and they inform them of this information, and then those buyers then have the opportunity to put their best foot forward. So essentially what that means is those buyers are each submitting a sealed bid. And I'm an auction guy, so it's like a sealed bid auction. Neither buyer knows the other buyer's offer, neither buyer knows the other buyer's terms or conditions of their offer. They're just there to put their best offer forward, and then the seller will review both offers and make a decision. Now that decision doesn't necessarily have to be they will accept one or the other offer, but they can choose to work with one or the other buyer. So a couple thoughts on this. Once you receive back both highest and best offers, first of all, you don't have to. If one of them you love and the other one is miserable, you can just accept it. You don't have to go back to buyer number two and give them an opportunity to raise. The seller can do whatever they want. But once you do have, if you do play it out and you do have the two offers and the seller is in review of both of those offers, they can then counter the highest and best offer if they don't think it's acceptable. The jeopardy there is that if the buyer rejects that offer, now that seller has to either take their previous offer of highest and best or try to wheel and deal back with buyer number two. So this situation becomes very quickly the old adage of bird in the hand versus two in the bush. So you want to kind of play that in a way that you feel comfortable with, because everyone has their own personal risk factor. I oftentimes am a little bit more risky with my money. I'm more conservative with other people's, because if I lose my money, I can just work harder. If I lose other people's money, not a lot of chances to make that up. The flip side is that if you're a buyer, if there's a property, okay, time out. I just watched that video that I did, and I don't feel like I really went into enough detail on how to handle a multiple offer situation as a buyer. So I'm going to do that again. So that being said, if you're a buyer and you're interested in a property that has already has an offer on it, what's imperatively crucial is that your agent get a hold of the seller's agent and get all the information they possibly can. Is there anything the seller is sensitive to? Closing dates, possession, personal property, buyer's financing, anything whatsoever, because we have limited control again of what we can do. So we want to control every single thing we can. If the seller is willing to leave the fridge, if they really like the fridge, then now you know that not asking for the fridge can really help your offer. So anything we can do in that arena. The big one is the price point. Another little thing we can do is write a letter as a buyer saying, yes, I really love your house, and here's my little, dog, and he's going to love the backyard, blah, blah, blah. Those are nice and sometimes helpful if it's really close between one or the other. But at the end of the day, it typically boils back to money. So you really have to come heavy with that offer amount, and it is incredibly common to go above asking price on your offer. And what you do though, the way to protect yourself is go above asking price, but make it subject to the appraisal. If it's an FHA offer, it's already going to be subject to the appraisal, but if it's a conventional offer, you probably want to write that in, that it's going to be subject to the home appraising out, and it's going to give you a little bit of a safety mechanism there. So as a buyer, those are the things to keep in mind. As a seller, we already kind of went through that. So hopefully you're a seller in a multiple offer situation, but if you're a buyer, maybe this can help too. If there's anything I can help you with, don't hesitate to let me know, and I'm never too busy for your referrals. Thank you.